Ah, back in the title screen I see. Something about this feels weird. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fire Emblem Blazing Sword Let's Play. Welcome to the bonus episodes, which, as you all know, pretty much going to serve as the remainder of this Q&A session, because there's a lot of questions to get through, and I can't answer them all by the end. So, showing off Lyn Hard Mode in preparation for Hector Hard Mode, so you can just see, you know, some of the differences now that I don't have to do what the game tells me, and some of the units I'm going to try focusing on leveling up. Yeah, we're going for a female avatar this time, because I just thought it'd be interesting. As for who it's going to be, let's just say my favoritism got the best of me. yeah, I'm pretty much sure you could all guess by now. You know a certain family character who begins with an S, and yeah. Can't help it, I love Sumiya too much. So yeah, Sumiya's going to be our tactician for this. So, if I ever fuck up on the Hector Hard Mode, you can blame Sumiya. And if you do, I'll kick your ass! I joke. So anyway, so it's just going to show off, like, again, the events are going to be the exact same. I'm just showing off, you know, different units that are going to be used. Some slight differences, like I don't have to use the Knight's Crest as Wallace and stuff like that. And you get to see if some people get RNG blessed or RNG screwed during this playthrough. Though, in regards to Lyn, some things never change. So, with that said, let's get straight to it. Okay, so first question is, what is your most replay value on the Fire Emblem series? I think that person means, what game do you think has the most replay value? It comes down to 4 games to me. It would be Blazing Sword, Awakening, Radiant Dawn, and Sacred Stones, though more in favor of Blazing Sword and Awakening. Main reason is because those games have a lot of, like Blazing Sword, you've got Lyn mode, which ties into the Elowen mode, and you've also got the Hector mode, which does have quite a few exclusive chapters. And there's also, like, you know, you have certain laws at this level, so if you achieve certain stuff, you can get side quests. That's why I think Blazing Sword has quite a lot of replay value, and it's the one I find myself coming back to quite a lot, because I really like that. Awakening, because Awakening not only does it have, you know, pairing up characters to get certain child units, certain skills and abilities, and paralogs. Awakening is just a very, like, easy-going Fire Emblem game that you can pick up and play in an instant, which is why I think it sells so well, and why a lot of people really gravitate towards it, because it's much easier. Like, with not all Fire Emblem games, with a lot of them, I have to convince myself, okay, I'm going to sit down, take time out of my schedule just to play it, especially with the longer games, like Genealogy and, what's it called? Radiant Dawn. So, with Awakening, you can just pick up and play it, which I find there's a lot of replay value. You can just go back to it easily. Radiant Dawn has a lot of replay value because not only is it the biggest, one of the biggest Fire Emblem games in just terms of chapter length, but there's a lot of bonus stuff you can get on the second playthrough. Not in terms of, like, exclusive chapters, but exclusive, like, cutscenes and, you know, certain events. Some things do change, you get new characters and so on. So that's a lot of replay value. Sacred Stones, because you've got the creature campaign, and you've also got what else? You've got the Erica Ephraim split, and just stuff like that. So that one has got a lot of replay value, but I think Blazing Sword and Awakening have the most. I think Blazing Sword to me has the best replay value if you ask me, but Awakening definitely has, like, it's the one you can go back to the easiest. So that's what I think. Who do you think you are? I'm the RNG. I'm the one who gets RNG blessed every single time I play this game. Because that's just Lyn. She is the RNG queen. Next to Sophia. Next question. Predictions on what the Fire Emblem game in 2018 is going to be about. Well, I highly doubt it's going to be a remake, because I think after everything that's happened, we need a new game, not a remake. So, I don't know what it will be about, but they might try, because they kind of, like, Fates kind of did this. Might try for a more Civil War approach, maybe. Like, you know, you have maybe there's a revolution within the kingdom that you're part of, or maybe like there's one kingdom that's been taken over and they want to get it back. You know, something along those lines. All right, that's not the best level up starting out, but it gets better. Don't worry, it gets better. So, because I think they might go for that approach, especially because Echo Story, even though it's a remake, was kind of a Civil War thing, so I think Fire Emblem has kind of gravitated towards that more, rather than, you know, giant, like, just 2 different kingdoms clashing. They're going for more of a Civil War approach. So, I also think it will be quite the large game due to it being on the Switch. I mean, yeah, the Switch isn't the most powerful console ever, but it's still slightly stronger than the Wii U, and the Wii U was able to make some pretty big games, so, you know, I think it's probably gonna go along those lines. Okay, Next questions, set of them. Of the 3 training units of Sacred Stones, which is your favourite? Well, in terms of gameplay, Ross, because I mentioned this in the live stream, he is the best of them, even though the training units aren't that good. Yes, there's always grinding, but that kind of eliminates any unit to be bad, because if you can grind someone up, then anyone can be good. But in terms of personality, I really favour Amelia, because she's, like, it's unique because she's actually an enemy unit, not like someone who just joins you. And she's just so sweet and adorable, and her support with Franz is the cutest little thing in the world. And again, it shows that not everyone in Grado is evil. I mean, Sacred Stone's already really good at it to begin with, but she's that icing on the cake, and I like Amelia. So, gameplay, Ross, character, Amelia. And you know my favourite character for gameplay, so I'm going to say Amelia. Okay, here's a Pokemon question. What's your favourite gym leader? Well, there's a lot of gym leaders I like, but my favourite has to be Claire. Mainly because, 1, she's a Dragon-type gym leader. You know how much I love dragons. Even though they're not my favourite type in Pokemon, you know how much I love dragons. 2, she's like one of the few gym leaders that has either given me a real challenge or actually beat me. Because when you first, like, it's more noticeable when you play the original Gold and Silver. Dragon-type Pokemon back then and Dragon-type moves were particularly scarce. And she had a Kingdra who was only weak to Dragon, so... And I had a Typhlosion, and it knew Water moves, so I was like, oh fuck. I mean, yeah, I knew Thunder Punch, but point still stands, oh fuck. So, you know, Claire gave me a lot of shit, but I really like that challenge because a lot of the gym leaders, I found, aside from Whitney, because fucking hell, a lot of the gym leaders in Gold I just kind of breezed through, so Claire, I like that Claire's a lot more cold and just like no bullshit compared to a lot of gym leaders. I really like that about her. She's a, you know, she's a dragon gym leader at heart, and she certainly feels like it. So Claire's my favourite. And, as embarrassing as this is for me to ask, have you watched Tsundere Children? If so, what do you think of it? No, I've not watched Tsundere Children. I haven't even heard much about it. If you feel free to tell me what you think, and because I'm always open to watching as many different genres of anime as possible. If you think it's good and I'll like it, tell me why. So, yeah. Okay. Oh, we've got a genealogy question. Hold on a second, just need a drink. Okay, so here's the question. What are your pros and cons of Fire Emblem 4 by what you played so far? Okay, what are the pros? First of all, it's incredibly ambitious. Like, what it tried to do for a SNES game with that limited size, I got to applaud it for it. It did so much with such limited resources, and it tried so many new things that really did help build the foundation for the series. I love that. Music's good. Again, the SNES, to be honest, SNES has always had a good sound card. It's not my favourite SNES soundtrack, but it's overall good music. Quite, it has that really nice mix of being both ambient and catchy at the same time. I think Chapter 2's music is a perfect example. It's got this weird ambience, but at the same time, you can't get out of your head. I like the large-scale story. It covers a lot within each generation, and you really feel like this is a massive war going on, so I like that. I actually do really like that there are multiple objectives per chapter. It makes you feel more involved, and it like helps you to manage your units better, where you have certain ones tackle certain things, put certain people move in certain directions. I like that, and I really helped that it did help to define the franchise. The quality jump is definitely noticeable. I can see why people hold it in such regard. Like a lot of SNES games did that for their franchises, and this is no exception. So, what are the cons? First of all, bad sprite work. In terms of the portraits, some of them look alright, like Arthas looks cool, and Ira looks cool. Everyone else, I really don't like how the way they look. It's just their heads and their facial expressions, they look so weird, angular, and disproportionate. It doesn't, I mean, yeah, limited at the time, but SNES games can put out so much better graphics than that. I'm sorry, but I've seen Super Metroid, I've seen Mario World, I've seen Castlevania, I've seen Final Fantasy, I've seen Donkey Kong Country's a bit of an extreme example. I've seen Link to the Past and Mega Man X. They can do much better. Genealogy, in my opinion, is not a very good looking SNES game. I also think it's very user-unfriendly. It's not necessarily the hardest family game. You can beat it without a guide, but there's so much that the game doesn't tell you, which does fuck you over in the long run. Like, either not telling you where to get some items that are really necessary, not telling you which units are going to leave, and if you give them the item, well, tough shit, you ain't getting it back, or not knowing, like, when you do this one thing, suddenly all these units are going to appear from here, and you get absolutely wrecked. So, it's very user-unfriendly in that regard, and then there's some just stupid, you know, stuff like that. It has some balance issues, because of how the game is structured, you know, some units like Sigurd is just way too good, whereas like Arden's useless because he can barely move. I mean, for the most part, like quite a lot of people, like mounted units are the most useful, but you can still have non-mounted units like mages and Ira that can still do some stuff, but it still has things. It's a very exhausting game. Like, I can barely get through a single chapter without having to take a break because there's so much to do, and it just tires you out, the amount of shit that goes on. I mean, I like the multiple objectives, but it's an exhausting game to play, people. Really exhausting. And I know it's early days, but there's some really dumb mechanics, like how trading works. I really don't like it. And, you know, it's very dated as well. That can't really be helped, but it's something like, I can look past dated stuff for the most part, because, you know, that was for the time, you know, you got to be a bit more lenient, but some things in some games, you just can't look past, like, wow, this does not age well. Genealogy has not aged very well. But it's still really one of the stronger Fire Emblem games, in my opinion. Okay. Next question. What's your favourite Pokemon and why? Well, I mentioned this in top 10 Pokemon types. My favourite Pokemon is Typhlosion. Well, just normally, I like that it's a strong... It's one of the few fire starters. I think it's the only fire starter that remains pure fire type, which I like. It has some really good moves like Eruption. You can learn like Thunder Punch and Extra Sensory. I really like that. You know, pair that with Sunny Day and Eruption just wrecks all kinds of shit. I love its design, like Honey Badger thing with fire coming out its back. I love it. But Typhlosion I mainly love because it was my first ever Pokemon. I had the Cyndaquil. It was the first Pokemon reached level 100. It helped me so much out in Gold. When I got back Heart Gold, just went through the things again. Even when I got X and Y, I got Cyndaquil, Japanese one, with Extra Sensory, trained up with Typhlosion. I just love Typhlosion. You know, Typhlosion will always hold a special place in my heart as, you know, the hearts of a lot of people. Their first Pokemon is Pokemon they love. Typhlosion is going to forever remain my favourite Pokemon. I absolutely love Typhlosion. It's... Oh, if Typhlosion was real, I would hold it and hug it for the rest of my life. I love that thing. Ugh. Okay, so, next question. What's your favourite non-Avatar ship in Fire Emblem Awakening? I bet they asked that because, you know, it would just be Robin and Sumia. Okay, so, I actually really like the Faja and Henry ship because they're both really kooky, odd, and kind of malicious, but that's kind of the appeal of... That's why I think they work off each other. It's kind of like the same way I like Niles and Perry. They're both very dark and disturbed characters, and they're kind of made for each other. So Faja and Henry, I like that because they're both dark mages. They both like to do hexing and stuff like that, and they just work. You know, one of them's very excitable, the other one's a bit bitter, but they, you know, they're like an old married couple. I really like Owain and Cynthia because Kent's getting a lot of these criticals. God damn it. He really wants me to play Fire Emblem 3. From what I remember though, his first level up is shit. I think it's just HP. Oh, HP and speed. Therefore, not so shit. So, Owain and Cynthia I love because they have that childlike innocence to them and that heroism. They work off each other very well. Maribel and Rickon I like because I like how, in terms of the actual story, it does kind of make sense because Rickon did save Maribel. And I like how Maribel is trying to help Rickon out because Rickon's main thing is trying to rebuild his family representation. And Jesus Christ, Ken, stop getting these criticals! God damn, Hector Hard Mode. Ken Critical Mode. That's what I'm going to call it, Ken Critical Mode. And I like the way they work with each other, like Maribel acts as a friend but also like a mentor, and Rickon has that childlike innocence to him. So it's kind of like this weird, like, either motherly sisterly relationship. It works, but it's cool. And Vake and Lissa I love because Lissa's very, you know, she's not very noble-like, and her and Vake just work with each other. They're like total BFFs, and it's so cool. I love it. You know, they just work so well together. They're made for each other, if you ask me. And if I remember correctly, yeah, I'm gonna let Lynn go in and take him out. I think this is also where Lynn gets her first good level up, if I remember. I just want to double check this first before I get to the next question. Hey, get the fuck out of my face. I'm still, you know, these criticals with Ken, good lord. They just don't stop. He's a monster. Alright, Lynn, what'd you get this time? I don't remember. I don't think she gets strength, but okay, it was better. Not amazing, but better. You know, the level ups do start consistently get better with Lynn. Yeah, so that's my favourite. Okay. Next question. Do you think FE4 has some of the most OP characters, villains included, in Fire Emblem in terms of magical capabilities? I'm going to say no, because even though they have some really broken skills and terms, I think it's more to do with the fact that back then, the res stat for like most characters, especially physical units, was like non-existent. So it was very easy for mages to just capitalize on that. And also, you know, because again, Genealogy is a bit unbalanced with how skills and stuff work. So I reckon it's more a case of just, you know, the game didn't really think it through hard enough, which is why magic units are so strong in that game. I reckon if you had other magic units in like could you imagine if you had like, say, Pent in Genealogy, or like the Awakening, like, because a lot of Awakening mages are really strong in Genealogy, or I'm trying to think of other like really strong Fire Emblem mages, or Seleth, if that's his name. Yeah, in Genealogy, they would just go to town on people. Like, good lord. Like, can you imagine if Nyx was, I know Nyx is bad, like, things like that, but magic and speed stat, imagine that in Genealogy. Yeah, just die. You know, Nyx would be disgusting. Yeah, so I don't think it's a case of they're the most OP. I think it's just a case of because of back then how the game was. You know, that's just why they seem so OP. And what do you think of Chapter 5 of Fire Emblem 4? I haven't reached it yet, but all I can say is... all I can say about that chapter is feel the burn. Feel the burn. Okay, so next couple of questions from this person. Okay, what was your favourite Robot Master and Robot Master weapon in Mega Man? Metal Man, and I love Metal Blade. Metal Man because he's cool and I love his music and I love his stage. Metal Blade because it literally just replaces the Mega Buster. It's like, I have the Mega Buster, now I've got the Metal Blade, bye! I love Metal Man too much. Okay, if you've played Sonic Unleashed, what was your favourite stage themes? I have played Sonic Unleashed and I really like it. For daytime, I like Apotos and Holoska. I think that's how it's called, Cool Edge Day and stuff like that. And for nighttime, I love Rooftop Runs Begonia and Cool Edge Night. I love those tracks so much. You know, Werehog, while the levels aren't great, some of the music really was. It was very, very ambient. I loved it. Have you played any Mega Man fan games like Unlimited, Super Fight, Robot, and Rock Force? No, I haven't played any of them. I do know of them. One of my friends mentioned them a lot, but I haven't played any of the fan games because I'm not a huge Mega Man fan, so fan games aren't something that interests me. If you could make your own Robot Master, what would it be? I don't know the name for it, but my type of thing for a master where he control everything electrical. I'm not talking about just electrical attacks, that maybe he can control the wiring, control the the lighting in the room, maybe certain switches to activate within the stage. You know, he has control of anything with an electric circuit, and that would allow for some really creative levels where maybe he changes like where different entrances and exits go, entrances and exits go. You know, certain switches. I think that'd be really interesting in his, like, maybe he can fuck with some of your weapons if he hits you, like, maybe if he hits you, it short circuits you, so instead of using, say, let's say, like, the water weapon, you end up using the fire weapon. That'd be interesting. So, you know, something like that. And lastly, out of Olivia and Zane, are you the oldest out of the three? You don't have to say what age you are exactly. I am the oldest, I'm the oldest, then it's Zane, then it's Olivia. Yeah. Okay. And so, next set of questions. This is a pretty random question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you read any fanfiction on fanfiction.net? Not really, because I barely visit fanfiction.net, even though, like, you know, I am cool with, like, the whole how to improve stuff and taking stories in a different direction, but I rarely go there. The only time I went there was when I read an Evangelion fanfiction, which I actually really, really, really liked, you know. That was one of the few times I actually, like, read for the entire fanfic, because I thought it was really, really cool. But aside from that, not really. Who do you think is cooler, Zero or Proto Man? Well, Zero has a lightsaber, which is cool, but Proto Man is cool. Like, Zero's a bit edgy, whereas Proto Man's just... Proto Man's cool, but Zero has a lightsaber, so I'm gonna go with Zero. Okay. Have you played Mighty Gunvolt Burst on the eShop? No, I have not played that. I mean, I have played Azure Striker Gunvolt, which is very much a Mega Man X style game, which I really, really enjoyed. It's one of my favourite eShop games, so I played that. What is your favourite Zelda game? Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask is actually my favourite game of all time. Because, well, my relationship to Majora's Mask is everyone's relationship. First time playing it, I could not stand the fucking game. I thought it was horrible. Over time, it just got better and better. Once I knew the ins and outs, I loved it. And then you look into the deeper meanings and just how everything works. I think it's absolutely fantastic. There's so much about Majora's Mask I like, you know. The way the story is told, the dungeons while minimal, I love them. The side quests, you know, the transformations I love, the music, the graphics. Oh, I just love Majora's Mask. The boss is so good game. I love it. And final question, if you played Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, how would you improve Quint as a boss? I don't know, because I've not played Mega Man 2 for the Game Boy, so sorry, I can't answer that question. Okay. Okay, moving on. Do you think that there should be a class that uses hand-to-hand combat in every Switch to add little units to the class system? I wouldn't mind hand-to-hand combat, but provided the characters aren't very strong, because I don't want it to be like, because here's the thing, if it was hand-to-hand combat, I reckon the characters would be fast, like they could double pretty much next to everyone. but I reckon they'd have to be units that would have to maybe use for picking off either weaker classes or taking down mages to do their low physical defense. So I can see them doing that, like they're getting up close and personal, or maybe with like archers to pick them off. But at the the risk is they can't retaliate at all from a distance, so mages and things could be a threat to them as well. And they're probably not physically that strong, but they're very fast. It would add that uniqueness. It would help you to like use units to maybe flank the enemy. They'll make for good flanking units. But also, I think they shouldn't have any weapon triangle advantage. I think they should be neutral throughout, because I think just because of how combat works, you'd have no like advantage over certain weapons. You'd just be bare bones, and like you can have power ups like different gauntlets and stuff, and different like maybe you could lace short like brass knuckles or spiked van braces and stuff like that. Or magical ones, maybe for like when you go up against like knights, you can have a real advantage. But aside from that, yeah, I think it would be cool, but have them be like a secondary class, like not a main thing or something you really meant to use, just be there in case you want to use it. And next question, what do you think of Raina's personality, or Raina, however you pronounce her name? I'm cool with her. It's like she's one of the darker Hoshido characters. She has that like, malicious, sadistic side to her, which is like, you can see in her physical appearance because she's battle scarred. I quite like it because most of the Hoshido characters, most of them I found to be quite bland, because most of them was just like, they're there for their duty and they're kind of one note. Not all of them, there are quite a lot of characters I actually really like. Raina was one of the interesting ones because she was just, she felt more, she felt more human, she had that evilness to her, which, people do, and, I like having characters out there. That's why I like the Conquest cast a lot more. They weren't just about their one gimmick, they had more to them than just, I serve my lord, which I really liked. So Raina's cool. And final question for the person. What region, meaning what country or place in the world, in the next Fire Emblem game coming up for the Switch, do you want to be represented, and what do you expect to see being represented? Well, in terms of what I see, I wouldn't be surprised if they just stuck with the same generic setting, though, based on how maybe like they hinted at with Awakening and how they did Fate, they might go for more more Japanese or Oriental style setting. I wouldn't be surprised, but which is cool. I'm cool with, but I'd like to see an ancient Greece setting. I think that'd be really, really cool. Just because I'd like to see how the aesthetic goes over. I'd like to see the mix, like how Greek wars and Greek mythology goes into the mix. Also, like the layout of the levels and how ancient Greece, like the landscape, translates into that. I'd be really interested to see. So I'd love to see ancient Greece represented. I think it would make for a really, really cool Fire Emblem game. But I reckon they'll either stick to fantasy setting, go with a more like Japanese style setting, or pull something right out their ass and do something none of us expected, which I would be cool with as well. I'm always like surprises in Fire Emblem. I always like surprises. Okay. So, next question. If you could make a banner in Heroes, and you could use 4 or 5 units in that banner, what character do you put in? Well, there's 3 types of banners I'd be cool with. First one is a Dawn Brigade banner. I think, we're getting more Tellius representatives, which I like, but I reckon now Dawn Brigade, especially for a Radiant Dawn representative, and I really have to play 5 and 3 now. So, new mission for the Emblem, get to it. What was it? So I'd like to see Dawn Brigade be represented. In terms of who, Micaiah, Soph, Nolan, Edwards, and realistically speaking, probably Leonardo, because he is one of the first ever Dawn Brigade units. I mean, I prefer Aaron and stuff. And, well, I don't count, like, Jill, Terranio, and Xerox, because I see them more as, like, Grail Mercenaries. So, those lot, or maybe Volug. Oh, again, he's starting out. Kent doesn't get very good level up, starting out. So, that's, I'd love to see that be represented. I think that would be really, really cool. After that, I'd like to see, I think it was a Benion banner. So, Sigrun, Tanith, because we already got Sanaki, so we see Sigrun, we see Tanith. If you want to get technical, maybe Astrid or Marcia, because they were from Benion originally, but they changed. Levile and Zelgius. I mean, we already have the Black Knight, but Zelgius can go in a slightly different direction. So, maybe instead of they can either focus on more defense or more attack, but less resistance and stuff, and, just some other new abilities, maybe. And maybe some better passive skills, even though Black Knight's already pretty OP to begin with. So, that would be cool, and also it'd be interesting to see Levi with the Wishblade, act as a ranged spear. And Sigrun and Tanith just cool Pegasus Knights. And final banner would be a Sacred Stones Villains banner, because we've already got Volta and stuff, but we have Leon, we have Selena, we have Orson, we have what do you call it? Kaliak and stuff. You know, get just abandoned with the villains, because Sigurdsson villains are a strong bunch, so I'd like to see more of that. I think that'd be really, really cool. Oh my god, I really have to play Fire Emblem 3 now. This is getting silly. I mean, I'm excited to play it. I've heard good things about the Mystery of the Emblem, but Christ, man! Ah, see, there's a good level up. There's a good level up. It was only a matter of time. Okay, so... Alright, next question. What is your hero squad and who's your favourite unit? Well, my main hero squad is Brave Lyn, Nino, Brave Roy, and Gwendolyn. Though, my Black Knight is currently 5-star level 36, so he's probably going to swap... I'm probably going to swap out him for Roy or maybe Gwendolyn. Because Nino and Brave Lyn are my two favourites. Though, my favourite is probably Nino because as much as I like Gwendolyn, and I trained both Gwendolyn and Nino up from really low, like I think it was like either 3 or 4-star units, all the way to 5-star maxed out units. So... even though I love Gwendolyn, Nino just wrecks all kinds of shit. It's not even funny. She's absolutely disgusting. So Nino's probably my favourite unit. I mean, love Black Knight and stuff, but Nino I've spent more time with. Granted, I did train Black Knight from level 4, so, you know, I have got great use out of him and stuff. You know. Yeah, so probably Nino. Though again, me, I might swap out either Gwendolyn or Brave Roy for Black Knight, because Black Knight because it's a sword unit, and Gwendolyn because, you know, armored unit. Okay. This next question. What is your opinion the worst supports disregarding Radiant Dawn in the whole franchise? Okay. There are 4 in particular I really don't like. First off is Faye and Silk. You know how much I hate that support, because despite Silk trying to be friendly and, you know, the basis for the support is fine, it's the way Faye acts around her. It's just like, not only are you petty and shallow, but you're also a bitch, Faye. Like, god damn it, how, like, poor Silk, just trying to be friendly, and you go and pull something like that. I really don't like that support, because, and also, I feel nothing comes of it. The other one I really don't like is Perry and Benny. You know, bless those two characters, the support they have is really bad, because it just brings out the, like, Benny doesn't do much, and it brings out the worst in Perry. You know, Perry has some pretty bad supports, which I think is due to just some of the writing being really bad. And as bad as like Xander's and Leo's are, Benny's I think is absolute worst. And Felicia's is pretty bad too, but Benny's is absolute worst. It's just, ugh. Not only does, again, nothing comes to the support, and it just, ugh. I really don't like, one thing I really don't like is Robin and Frederick's, because I just find it kind of pointless. Like, it's about eating meats and stuff, and like, really? This is the support you're going with? Like, especially because Robin and Frederick, you could have gone for a real trust issue thing. Because, like, from the beginning, Frederick never trusted Robin, so you could see how maybe Robin's able to win him over, or why Frederick has such trust issues. So, that would have been more interesting, but no, we're going to go with eating shit. I know Awakening is a fan of that with a lot of its supports, but for those two characters, it just no. Sorry. And last one I don't like is Noel and Lute, because the support... it's kind of vague in my mind, but if I remember, Lute was just kind of being stupid and Noel wasn't being much better. If I remember, the support was just, the way they acted around each other was just kind of dumb. You know, that's why I didn't feel like the support. I thought it was just kind of a stupid support, to be honest. Okay. So those are what I think are the worst supports. Disregarding Radiant Dawn, because Radiant Dawn's on a whole new level. You know, Radiant Dawn doesn't even, like, could you even call them supports? Okay, next question. Do you think Eliwood should have started out as a mounted unit instead of gaining the ability upon promotion? No, because we've already got 5. We've got Kent, Sane, Marcus, Lowen, and Isadora. We don't need 6. Binding Blade already had enough mounted units. We don't need any more. I think just Eliwood being as he is was fine. Plus, it makes the, you know, even though he would have been better starting out, it does make the promotion for him all the more stronger. Like, you know, again, I think Eliwood on a horse just doesn't work if you ask me. Again, I think it's fine with how he is. Also, is it Rhine time? It's always Rhine time! Every time of the day, no matter where you are, it's always Rhine time. I swear to God, Rhine is one of the best joke, buddy or joke characters ever written. Because he's an actual character, he has an arc, but he's still hilarious throughout. Love him. Okay, so I'm going to stop for now. When we come back, we're going to go more into Lyn Hard Mode, get Florina, get Dorcas, and answer more of the questions you've put forth. You know, once again, this is the last set of questions I'm answering, so don't put any in the comment section because I'm sorry I won't be asking them. But rest assured, I will get through all of them, so just, you know, Be patient and we'll get through all of them at some point. Until then, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.